All they're looking for is love, and all they're looking for is a family. And if you have both of those things to give, why not? Ran down. I've never run so fast in my life. What they look like and whether they're fluffy and whether they're furry should not matter to you. She just went and she threw her cycle in front of you, and suddenly she comes in the morning waking me up saying, Didi, Didi, Didi. Hi, this is Suchitra Pillai and you're watching me on Mapabe India. Oh, good stories. Actually, I've always had pets as a child, and once we had Anika, our daughter. When she was about, we could see that she really had an affinity towards animals. Since the time she was small, she would be rescuing little kittens and this and that and the other, and we knew that she wanted a pet. My husband was, a little more difficult to convince. We were wondering whether he would say yes or not, because he had a dog when he was a child, but he wasn't really thinking about it at that point. But when she was about 7, we decided, okay, let's do this for her and let's get her a little kitten, because they're easier, to be in the house, etc. And she kept rescuing kittens all over the place, so we knew she would have an affinity towards them. And straight away, our first thought was to go to an adoption center to get a kitten, definitely not buy it from somewhere. And I was looking up places, and I found Animals Matter to Me in Malad. And we went there, and she was so excited. 7 years old, she was so excited, her first pet, etc. And this guy had already told me, he said, there's a little ginger kitten over here amongst the others, and it was really cute. He said, we'll come and we'll see. So we were looking, and there were many little kittens, and Anika was looking and playing with this other multicolored kitten. And she was like, no, maybe we should take this fellow, maybe we should take this fellow. At the same time, my husband saw this tiny little ginger thing sitting in the corner inside one of the big cages, just sitting and looking. He said, oh my God, look at that. And then the man said, oh, by the way, that's the one I was talking about. And he was really quiet, and he was called Goldie, at the time. Anyway, we called him, and he came out, the most adorable little ginger kitten, came out. And then Anika saw him, and she was like, yeah, this one. And we, then and there, we just adopted him then and there and brought him home. And that's how our journey with, and then of course we changed his name. He has to have a Danish name because my husband's from Denmark. So Loki, God of mischief, that's what he is. So earlier people used to call him Goldie Loki, but now he's Loki. Oh my God, I got to tell you one story. My God, this is soon after he came back. The experience after he came home was just beautiful. There you can see there's one photo of him as a baby. It was lovely. It was lovely having this tiny little human with another tiny little human, Anika, together. And he was just very lovable. This cat was a traumatized cat. You could tell, because he was apparently found during Diwali time when he was a kitten, literally newborn, because we got him when he was only about 2 or 3 months old, And it must have been during, with crackers and fireworks and everything. So you can imagine little kitten being found at that point. So even today, poor guy, any sudden noises, people suddenly, he gets a start. But once he knows you and he loves you, my God, he's the best cat ever. He thinks he's a dog, but he's actually a cat. But the experience with him was just beautiful. I have to tell you about one story. Soon after we've come back, okay, we're talking about maybe 3-4 days after we've come here. We live on the 6th floor. And in the morning, suddenly, so he's an indoor cat, since he was small. He came here, and this is what he knew, this house. But my maid had opened the door for a dry cleaner had come. So the lift was up on the 6th floor or whatever. And suddenly she comes in the morning waking me up saying, Didi, 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 Loki gir gaya hai. And I'm like, what the hell, jumped out? What had happened is the little kitten had run out of the door. First time, he's just 2-3 days in my house. Run out and run down the steps to the 5th floor. So she, not to startle him, was saying, Loki, 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 come. And he ran down even more. Literally down to the 5th floor. And our lift has grills. And he was little shocked, so when she was running down the stairs to go and get him, he didn't know where to go, and he ran through the grills and he fell down 5 floors. Yeah, and we had no clue whether this cat had survived or not. This is, I mean, he's in my house for 3 days, okay, and a 2-week-old kitten. So she came running up, not knowing, and me and my husband jumped out of bed. We came. The first thing I did was open the door on the 6th floor so that the lift couldn't go down, And we were calling, and we could just hear a very tiny mew, mew, We ran down. I've never run so fast in my life, And the watchman managed to open the door from the side. There's a catch. My husband just jumped in as he was. And this little fellow was there in the corner at the bottom. Fine, he was fine after falling 5 floors. The god of mischief, I told you. So he fell. He had obviously hit, one of his feet on the cement blocks in the lift shaft. But that lasted for 24 hours and he was fine after that. So first experience with a cat, that was an experience. But that, frankly, has really made him an indoor cat. He has the terrace, but he doesn't even want to go out. Maybe after that, only once more he's gone out. No, it's just love. I think it's just love, and I think Loki has got that from us. He's a cat that I was looking at signs yesterday of how cats tell you that, they're all into you. All 5 signs were definitely there. Now there are things like dog whisperer, cat whisperer, all of these things, therapy for animals, etc. But at that time, no. I mean, we got him 10 years ago. At that time, nothing like that. It was just pure love. I would have to say, I've been in my childhood, I've been at that place where Pomeranians were bought from, my father had bought. Those were all my sister's dogs. Yeah, my first pet was a dog, a Chihuahua, when I lived in London. My ex-husband had bought me that. And that, of course, there was, I think, from a breeder only he got it. But that was my first pet, per se. But adoption has always been on our minds. It was not even a thought to go to a breeder. Not from my husband, not from me. Not even a thought. We said, let's just go to an adoption center. Because I used to get a lot of these messages, and I would send funds to all of these just because we love animals. So straight away it was just like, why not give one of them a home? This thing of a traumatized pet, who's in an adoption center, a rehabilitated pet who's in an adoption center will not be as good a pet as a pedigree dog or cat, etc., which is rubbish. I think it's rubbish. On the contrary, because these pets are looking for love. They're looking for, they don't have their nose in the air like these pedigree. But so it's all they're looking for is love, and all they're looking for is a family. And if you have both of those things to give, why not? 200 dogs and cats. Yeah, all over the place. Yes. No, adoption wish list that. My daughter is dying to get one more, either one more kitten, one more dog. I have a dog downstairs who we've adopted as well. He can't stay here because of Loki. But yeah, he comes here. He comes up on his own 6 floors and he'll sit outside the door. He'll walk up 6 floors and sit outside the door and come. So we open the door, then he'll come and he'll roam around here a little bit and all, but Loki will run off inside when he comes. But yeah, my daughter is definitely wanting one more. Adopting. Rescuing, yeah, not me, I would have to say my daughter, and you'll know what kind of a child she is. Again, she was little, same time, around 7, 8, and she had a little cycle. And the lane that we live in, there are many cats roaming around. We always go and we feed them and stuff, cats and dogs. And she was on her cycle in the lane, and she saw this little kitten coming and onto the street. And there was an Innova car coming. And my daughter, she just went and she threw her cycle in front of the Innova because that man didn't see the little kitten. Yeah, and she ran in front to catch this kitten. That's when I knew, my God, this child has a heart of gold and she would do anything for animals. That's the first kitten and that kitten is right now in Singapore. Yes, people are always scared to approach dogs or cats which are on the street. It's more so dogs. You have to kind of suss out the situation, frankly speaking, because sometimes a traumatized dog would just would attack, in spite of being hurt, etc. But I think love is the answer. If you go approach them properly, they know that you're there to help. But saying which, I have a second dog who is also adopted by us. So the Veeru is my dog, and this is his girlfriend Basanti. So his girlfriend, I say, because she just decided to fall in love with my dog and come one day, and we decided to adopt her. So she has her bed and her mattress, and I feed them. But she'll come up to here and she will not allow us to touch her. And she'll smile and she'll wag her tail and she'll jump and everything. But she was obviously traumatized by people because she has a limp. So a touch with human, and so sad, It's so sad because she wants love. You can tell she really, really wants love. And literally she'll come up to 3 inches, but you go to put your hand and she'll run. So but she's in love with Veeru. So she and him, it's too cute. Both of them on the same bed, they sleep. So Veeru was brought in one day in the morning like this. I'd woken up and I heard the noise outside I think I heard the lift door open. So I just casually went and opened the door. And my watchman's son was standing there with this little black puppy in his arms, with a docked tail and everything. Yeah, it's if you look at Veeru, you'll see he has something of a Doberman in him. Excuse me. With this little black puppy. And I was like, oh my God. I see anything small, you ask my daughter, she thinks I'm completely mad because I see anything small, I will stop my car, I will make them stop their car, I will stop people on the street, I will sit down on the road. You ask my daughter, she thinks I'm completely crazy. But anything small, especially small puppies, I go a little bit crazy for sure. And I saw this and I said, oh my God. He said, nahi didi, meko raste pe mila. Or whatever. I really don't know where he found it, but and it's the watchman's son, so he said, nahi mujhe dekhbhal karna hai, So I said, no, we'll take care of it. Yeah. But saying which, we had the baby in the house as well. Loki was not there yet, but still we didn't, couldn't have him here. So I took permission from the building, and he has his home downstairs. He has his bed and his mattress, and he's not tied. He's not tied. I most definitely have noticed changes in, this whole pet adoption landscape because there's a lot more of it. And thanks to social media, there's a hell of a lot more being spoken about it. People can actually see where you can go to get the pets, and they're seeing the work that they do. Earlier, people used to wonder, where's my money going? If I'm giving it to a pet adoption center, so where's it going? Here, it's all right there. It's all there for people to see what is being done with their money and etc. And there's many options. Anywhere in the city you go, there's an adoption center now, and it's so easily, you can find out so easily. And there are so many people, whether it's celebrities or others, rooting for adoption, which is great. So there is most definitely a sea change. But there will still be those people who only want their foo-foo pets, Now the procedure is a bit more strict than it was 10 years ago when we got Loki. But even then, proper, we had to fill in forms, etc. It's not just come home, take the cat and go. They didn't expect any money at all. That was not even asked. So they work on donations. But they didn't even ask for a donation. We gave something, yes, but they didn't even ask, which was nice. You could tell that those doctors there, the guy who started it, Ganesh Naik, who started Animals Matter to Me, that's what his life was. So you want to help them in that case, which is why I support quite a few animal trusts. Kaloti Animal Trust is another one. My God, anyone has to go to that place. It is just phenomenal. Every animal on the planet is there and it's saved. They have 33 cats, they have 3 monkeys, they have 50 dogs, they have 4 or 5 donkeys, they've got everything. They've got geese, they've got ducks, they've got pigs, they've got eagles, all rehabilitated. They've got iguanas. Just a fantastic place. Another adoption center. You can go and adopt from Kaloti as well. Pyar Foundation. 2 people who have put their heart and soul. Pyar, no wonder Pyar. Abhijit Das, who was a director of mine in a TV serial, he brought 6 puppies to the set. Yeah, and he takes care of him and Ria. They handle Pyar Foundation, and I always help them whenever I can. It's so nice to actually go to a few places like this. I mean, to take Anika. Cat Cafe is lovely. Yeah. The cats are allowed to roam around everywhere. Another place I did take her to, which I didn't find so nice. What was that? Where you go and pet the dogs here in car, which got into a bit of problem. But this was that, where it's just a petting.
Okay.
So I went there and it was great to see these dogs and all, but one could see that they were not being taken care of well. And I'm very happy that those people were pulled up because all the dogs were sleepy. Were they being fed something? Were they being, made because people were just coming and going to, petting. So you had this big place where you would just sit with the dogs and play with them or whatever. Yeah. But at the same time, all of them falling asleep, etc., was a bit dubious. Yeah. And then a lot of people found out more bad things about that place and how they were treating the animals, etc. So I'm glad they were pulled up. I think that's shut down. But I love Cat Cafe. It's really nice. And if you're a cat lover and everything, you don't care that you're having your chai and there's a cat here and there's a cat here and there's a cat here. You really don't care. If there was one thing that I had to change about society and what they think about adoption, is that if you feel an adopted pet won't love you back as much as a breeded pet that you got from birth, that's a big myth. These ones will love you more, even if it's an older pet, even if it is not a puppy or a kitten when you get it. If it's a grown dog, I've seen cases where my friends have rescued dogs who have been through a hell of a lot. I can't get over the fact that people actually, it makes me emotional. People actually can leave their pet on a street. How do you do that? After it has given you so much of love, sorry, I get emotional. After it's done so much for your life, how dare you? This is their life. You are their life, and then for you to go and just leave them on a street. But so that's another myth I'd like to break for people, that the fact that rescued animals are always scared or whatever. No, if you see Loki, you will know he's after 5 minutes of being a bit strange with people, he's like the friendliest cat. If he likes you, he's really, really nice. And as I said, he thinks he's a dog. So as I said, so one myth is that adopted or rescued pets will not love you back. Yeah. On the contrary, they will love you even more than a dog that you buy from a breeder. The second myth is that, two different species like a dog and a cat can't get together. Yeah. That's not true at all. Adopted ones as well, they will get together. I know as a child, we've had 4 dogs and 1 cat and 1 sparrow and all of this in the same house, and they all got along really well. So that's another big myth that no, they won't get along, so shouldn't adopt another one. Get ready to take care of a baby, especially if it's, all young pets for sure. Just treat it like it's your own child. There is no other way. There is no other route to that. It is your child. You have the same responsibilities as you would have. You can't just leave the dog or cat and just say, oh, they'll take care of themselves. No. And dog more than cat, yes, they need the physical human touch or whatever. But I have seen the contrary with Loki. He is, as I said, he thinks he's a dog, and we feel sometimes he's a dog, in a cat's body, because the kind of love he shows. He has conversations, I promise you, he has conversations with my husband. My husband is talking to him in Danish, and after every question there is an answer back from Loki and a different tone. We've got videos of it, and he's an incredible, this fellow. Day before yesterday I saw him in the night. My husband was watching one of these frequency things, in the night, just played this thing, and there's the thing of a lady and her hands are moving like that. Loki was sleeping here, he got up, he went there, sat in front of the TV, and he just kept doing this, looking at the thing, the lady. Every time her hands moved, he just kept, and he just staring. My husband's got a video of it, just staring at the thing and looking straight at the TV. We're like, wow. Yeah. And they show us signs of how they take care of us. A cat especially, we know everything about what cats do for you, the energy that they do for me. He knows when I'm upset. He knows when I'm not feeling great. He knows when somebody in the house is not feeling well. He will go and sleep with that person. They take away your negative energy. They take away, he just knows. I don't have to say anything, and it's incredible. It's incredible, the kind of energy that he brings to us, whether it's my husband, whether it's me, whether it's Anika. It's incredible. He really is. We've seen just completely the opposite with Loki. They say they're not emotional. They say they don't answer to you. He answers to his name. He plays catch. We throw a ball with not, one of these little mice or whatever, and he'll catch it and he'll bring it back, literally. So he really thinks he's a dog. But no, he is. He is extremely, and he's extremely vocal about his whether he's angry or whether he's vocal. He says it. Yeah.
Rescue dogs are always aggressive or have behavioral issues.
False.
Big dogs need big homes.
Yes, true.
You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
False.
Rescue dogs can bond as strongly as puppies.
Most definitely truth.
Cats are not affectionate.
False, cancel.
Black cats bring bad luck.
Absolutely not. My cat, when I was a child, was called Midnight, and he was jet black with green eyes.
Milk is good for cats.
On the fence, but one has found out now that it isn't. Not regular milk.
Spaying or neutering pets makes them weak.
No. Loki is neutered. He's as strong as an ox, and he's nice and fat now because his tummy is nice and fat. That's because of the neutering. No, that's because I overfed him. Sorry. Yeah. But that's really. As a baby, he had a big tummy, poor fellow, because I used to overfeed him. Yeah, and that tummy has stayed only, poor fellow. Everyone's saying, oh, she's pregnant. I'm like, no, it's a boy, and he's not pregnant.
Indian stray dogs aren't as good as foreign breeds.
They're so sweet. I mean, look at my Veeru and Basanti downstairs, you'll see. No, they're sweet. They're sweet. Their eyes tell a million stories. Are Indian stray dogs, for sure.
It's better to adopt a young puppy kitten than a senior because they adjust better.
They adjust better, yes. But it's not better to. Yeah, it's better to give a good life to a dog who has been abandoned or whatever. But it takes a longer time for them to adjust. But love handles everything.
You must give away a pet if you get pregnant.
No way in hell, not even a cat. People say that cat hair is bad for a pregnant woman and it'll cause problems with the baby. What? Rubbish. Kuch nahi. Nothing.
The last one person can't make a difference.
Oh God, one person can make a huge, huge difference. Look at Ratan Tata, the first person that comes to mind when it comes to animals. And he can make a huge difference. That man was just so selfless, not only in life. I mean, I had the privilege of meeting him, and but his love for animals, for beings that can't speak, the hospital that he's made. Yes, one person can make a difference, and it's not. I mean, Mr. Tata is a huge example for me. But I can say in my own household, my daughter, one person can make a difference. She has rescued from a Ganpati Mandal once, then this Leo, third one, four kittens. Yeah, she's made a difference. She's made a difference in her own little way. And she didn't care about giving up her cycle in front of an Innova for a little kitten. Yeah, when she was 7 years old. So, yes, one person can make a difference.